Good evening, everyone. It's 6 p.m. and it's what are we having for supper with JD Farms products? I'm Jeanette Martin, brand ambassador for JD Farms, and I gotta tell you, that smoked turkey that I did in the crock pot all day long on Sunday, then made that incredible my inspired version of that smoked turkey pho was spectacular in my house, and I know I had a lot of friends that watched it and said, oh my gosh, I have to make that. And when I put the picture over on Instagram and tagged JD Farms, so many of my friends were like, oh my gosh, that looks so delicious. I so want you guys all to make that because the smoked turkey legs are probably, to me, one of the bestest values that JD Farms sells. I just love them. They do such a great job in the smoking of them. And when they get made into the broth and into a stock, sometimes I'll use that stock, leave the Asian spices out, and put bay leaf in there and a little bit more onion. I'll make an amazing pea soup, and it's just fantastic. So I have a lot of the meat left over. So this was from 2 drumsticks, and I think these ones were $5.10 for 2 of them. So I'm going to be using probably about half of this meat into, I thought, why don't we, I've had a crab stuffed mushroom. I've had just a regular cream cheese stuffed mushroom. Why not use some of the smoked turkey? And then I'm going to do a bit of a twist on the top of it as well to bring in more smoky flavors. So our cast of characters tonight is this incredible Asian infused smoked turkey meat. I do have a little bit, I have a girlfriend that has Epicurean spices, so I have a little bit of Thai spice. I'm going to mix in with this, kind of mirroring the broth that I had on my pho the other day, kind of mixed in with the turkey and the cream cheese. So the vegetables that are going to be going into this, it's all going to be fresh vegetables. I'm not going to cook anything ahead of time, but I'm going to dice it up pretty fine. Is about 1/4 piece of celery. I've got 2 green onions with the tops, a little piece of that fennel, because remember I put some fennel in with the broth. Just a little piece. I want to just, every once in a while when I kind of hit that smoked turkey with that fennel to have that kind of burst of flavor. I love these little red peppers. Super duper easy to clean. I'll show you in a second. I've got a pickled green bean. I want to use that pickle inside with that smoked meat. It's just kind of that sour with the sweet roast turkey with the smokiness. It just has a really nice nice flavor. If you don't have pickled beans, these are from Crowsberry Market, which is just down the street from JD Farms on 248, all part of the historic order trail. You could use like a pickled dill pickle. Don't use a sweet one. You want that kind of pickly flavor. And then on the top, I'm going to create a topping with some Parmesan cheese, a little bit of breadcrumb that has some Romano and seasoning, and a little bit of smoked cheddar. So the smokiness of the cheddar, the smoked turkey kind of inside. And kind of pulling it all together, I've got some cream cheese. I was at Otter Co-op the other day, which is kind of the other side by JD Farms. And they now have, this is the lactose-free cream cheese, which is awesome. So, and my neighbor, who when you've tuned in before, Candace, she went and did some amazing shopping for me, and I asked her to get me some cremini mushrooms. I like the flavor of these mushrooms, and she got me these ones. So that kind of inspired me to, what am I going to do with this smoked turkey? I was going to make a dip, show you a layered dip, but I think this is much more midweek fancy. So a cremini mushroom, you want to make sure you dust them off. You never wash your mushrooms. They're like little sponges and they'll soak up all the water, and that's just not, it's gross. It's gross. It's not good. So I'm just dusting them off. I am going to take the stems out and not use the stems in this particular recipe. I will keep them because I'll use them in a stock or a spaghetti sauce. So take out the stems, just set those aside. Any questions anybody has about the JD Farms product? Remember, we have an easy online ordering system. I think if you order 2 hours ahead, it's a 2 hour to your curbside pickup, which is fantastic. We're Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And I think on Saturdays and Sundays, we're still 9 to 5. It's amazing. We're there for you. So I've got my mushroom cap cleaned out, but I want to have a little bit more space to fill. So I'm just going in there with a teaspoon and opening up a little bit more space for my stuffing. But I'll keep that little piece as well, like the stuff that's coming out. I've got a prepared pan with some parchment paper on it. Take that spoon and clean out just a little bit of the gills and open up a nice bigger spot. How's everybody doing today? Any questions? Any culinary questions? I'm here to answer them. I think this week is, because it's supposed to get kind of cloudy and rainy, I'm going to take these leftover mushrooms, and I have some ground turkey at home here. I think it's time to make a nice big pot of, like a nice big pot of spaghetti sauce. You know, kind of that good, what an Italian mama would say, a nice big pot of red sauce that you could use and freeze. So, last one out. These are going to be amazing. You could prep these up ahead of time in the morning. They don't freeze well. If you were doing any entertaining, or if you wanted to get this done ahead of time and just, you know, later in the day, pop them into the oven. This is, you can do that. Okay, so clean up my board just a little bit. All the little bits of the, okay, so let's get cutting the vegetables. So the green onion, everything, because the mushroom cap is pretty tight, I want it to be pretty fine. So very fine dice. I take my green onion, slice it down in half, give it a quarter turn, and turn it again. Take that, the top of it, take the top of it. The reason why I want the top is it's got a little bit of color. So when these are baking, you'll kind of see those little bits of green poking through. And I'm dicing this very, very fine. Probably, ooh, maybe 2 millimeters, 3 millimeter dice. Yeah, nice and fine. So that's good. I'm doing 6 mushrooms here. So that was two green onions. So altogether chopped up, probably about a tablespoon and a half of chopped up green onion. Okay. Got my 1 small red pepper. See, the beautiful thing about these little red peppers, they don't have any seeds in them, so they're really super duper easy to clean. Don't waste any. You can pull away from the top. You got the top part there. Little secret, if you cut the inside on the flesh side, the pepper is much, much easier to slice versus trying to go down on this hard, the outside skin. So turn it over. And again, very fine dice. Get that little top part in there. Giving it a quarter turn. And the red peppers, again, going to add a nice little pop of color and that sweet flavor. So this is, if you didn't have a small pepper, but a regular, you know, pepper, it's probably a quarter of a red pepper. Celery, quarter stalk of celery. Again, very tiny dice. What this is going to do, while these mushrooms are cooking, the vegetables will soften just a titch, but not a lot. So you're not just going to have a one-dimensional kind of mushroom that's very soft. You're going to have just the little crunch of the vegetables. I like celery in a recipe because it kind of has a bit of a salty flavor to me, and the meat is sweet. And this way I'm not going to add any salt. Plus, in this recipe with the smoked cheese and the Parmesan cheese, I don't need to add any salt. So that's probably, again, about a tablespoon and a half of celery. And here comes the fennel. So it's just the top part of the front of a fennel. This, because it's going to be very, very flavorful, I'm going to say this is going to be maybe, I'm going to say a teaspoon once I chop it all up. And immediately the fragrance of that licoricey smell is coming out. So maybe about a teaspoon of that chopped fennel in there. Let's grab the pickled beans. Oh, my hands smell amazing. Let's do 3 pickled beans. Get that little bit of dill off of there. Can you imagine when you get kind of that little pop of that tartness of that green bean that's going to be in this mushroom cap? Okay. So that was probably about a tablespoon chopped up of the green bean. The pickled green bean. Okay. Put it in there. Okay. Gonna add, say a half a teaspoon of my Thai seasoning. That's gonna help marry the flavors that were around when I did the broth. Give that a bit of a stir. Look at the great colors in there, guys. Okay. Taking my turkey, and it's very soft. I just kept it in the fridge with a cover on it. I picked all the bones off. Giving it ice. I'm going to say centimeter dice. I don't want to chop it up too much because I want to know that the turkey's in there. So this is probably half a cup of the turkey. Maybe going to do a little bit more. I'm going to really stuff these mushrooms. Okay, that's in there. I'm going to take some cream cheese now, and I'm going to say about a half a brick of the cream cheese. It's going to go in. Okay, let's get this mixed up. Should put the cream cheese in first. Oh. Mix that around. See, at this point, I was thinking I would make this for you, and you could put this part, if you didn't like mushrooms, just into a baking dish, and then you would have a hot, like a smoked turkey dip. Get in there, soften up that cream cheese. I'm going to take my cream cheese out soon enough. That's okay. I'll just use a little elbow grease to make sure that's all well mixed around. It's going to hold together. Okay. Oh, already I can smell those Thai seasonings in there. Okay. Yep, that's good. That didn't take very long. So you can kind of see it's mixed in there very well. And sometimes you just got to use your hands. Okay. So let's bring our mushroom caps back. And then we'll make the topping. My spoon. Nice amount in each one. Unless you can pile it up pretty high. Get it really stuffed in there. Careful not to break your mushroom. Oops. See, there's lots of things you could do with that leftover smoked turkey. You could even put this much, put this mixture, because everything's cooked in here, put it in a wrap, and then grill the wrap. That would be delicious. Make sure they've all got like enough. Oh, this one didn't get enough. Okay. A little bit more on this one. I don't know how does it look? A little bit more on this one. You want to pack them pretty tight so they're going to stay together. Okay, a little bit more of my mixture. Oh, this is fun. I feel like I'm entertaining. I am. I'm entertaining for one. Hey, when we're all done and we can entertain again, somebody invite me to a party because I make great party food. Okay, so we've got them stuffed, ready to go. Now we're going to mix. I'll be right back. I need to wash my hands. Always have a bench cloth. Okay, so going on the top, got a teaspoon. Just want a little extra crunch on the top. A teaspoon of the breadcrumb that has some seasoning and some Romano cheese. One, I'd say, tablespoon of shredded Parmesan. And about a half an ounce of the smoked cheddar cheese. That's good. Mix that up with my hands. Bring back my mushrooms. Oh my gosh, these look so good. And just a little titch on each one. And press it down a little bit to make sure it sticks on top. But the little bits that are falling off to the side, you can always eat those too. Okay, a little bit there. Pick up the little crumbs for this one over here. There we go. So that's basically it. A stuffed mushroom. Stuffed cremini mushroom. Got 6 mushrooms about the palm of my hand. Took the stems out. Cleaned them out. Mixed some cream cheese, some dill pickled bean, a little celery, fennel, green onion, red pepper in there. Our leftover smoked turkey that I did in the crock pot with all those great Asian spices, and the carrot, the celery, the fennel. Did I get everything? Carrot, celery, fennel. Yeah, so those flavors. And then tonight, just to bump up the Thai flavor, used a little bit of the Thai seasoning. So there you have it. These are going to go into the oven. I'm going to watch and see as the mushroom starts to soften and cook. I'm going to say a 350-degree oven. I'm going to check them at about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and I may need to rotate my pan. I'll look to see that my topping is nice and crispy crumbly, and my mushroom has started to soften. So I'll take my knife and just kind of give it a little poke and see if there's a little bit of, it can go in nice and easily. So bring the camera back up. Okay, everybody, that's Jeanette, and this is how I thought of a recipe. Just say no to crab. No. There's room for everybody. Make a little smoked crab one and make a smoked turkey one and see if people can tell the difference. So it's just time to have fun with food. So again, I'm Jeanette Martin, brand ambassador for JD Farms, having fun in my own home kitchen, coming to you live 3 or 4 times a week at 6 o'clock. Just using JD Farms great products in my own home, using my items from my pantry and from my fridge, and creating good, delicious food. So from my home to your home, God bless. From the JD Farms family, Jack, Jason, Marilyn, and Jennifer, and all their kids and grandkids, and the employees at JD Farms, we wish you to be safe, eat healthful food, be safely tucked into your home, do some online grocery shopping with us. It's super duper easy, and we want you around for generations to come, just like we've been 2 generations now in the Langleys. Enjoy the night, everybody. These are getting into the oven, and I'm going to go pour a glass of wine, a nice local glass of wine. So tune in. I'll take a picture before, post it up on social media, and I'll take a picture afterwards. Enjoy the night, everybody, and tune in again. It's been a pleasure cooking with you with JD Farms products. Bye-bye.